workout number 1 for almost everybody was bottleneck by like, how long did that last handstand push-up set take you?
Yeah.
Workout number 2 was, can you do cross unders? 3 was basically a clean and jerk workout. 4, I don't know if it had a specific bottleneck, definitely like core endurance. So that one maybe wasn't like a straight bottleneck, but the last workout was a straight bottleneck in rope climbs.
Yeah.
That I think is just a big indicator of Bosman's programming style.
Quarterfinals are over, and for many of us, that means our season has come to an end. Now is the time for us to build strength, gymnastic skills, and improve our overall capacity. We have a new training cycle starting on March 27th to do just that. If your open or quarterfinal scores are limited by your gymnastic skills and capacity, our intermediate path will go back to the basics to lay the foundation for our year-long development plan. If you need to improve movements like ring muscle-ups, bar muscle-ups, handstand push-ups, toes to bar, handstand walking, or many others, this path is for you. For the athlete who qualified for quarterfinals but wants to improve their placement on the leaderboard, our RX path will focus on building a big strength base this offseason. For those who need a larger strength focus, we'll include options to follow a standalone strength program to make sure you're getting bigger and stronger this offseason. For those who need more focus on their endurance, we will run progressions for hinging, upper body pressing, squatting, and running. And we'll also have extra credit skill progressions for those who struggle with ring muscle-ups, toes to bar, and rope climbs during the season. For our Masters athletes, we are currently peaking for quarterfinals. Masters athletes who qualify for semifinals, we will write a specific semifinal peaking path just for you. And for those athletes that do not make it out of quarterfinals, we will shift into an off-season strength and gymnastics development program just like RX and Intermediate. Come join TDT Compete right now. Go to trainingthinktank.com.
Are you going to be, I feel like you should be the Happy Train guide rails. If we start leaving the Happy Train
Whoa,
too
Happy
much.
Train.
I'm the Happy Train guide
Yeah.
rails. Oh, what a plot twist.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Let's let it rip.
All right, Brandon's the Happy, you're the negative Nancy.
No,
and I'm
I'll
the
try to.
neutral.
I'll be Happy Train.
Oh, are we role playing today?
Yeah,
I like
we
this.
are.
You always say that I'm not happy.
Chugga, 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 chugga. Woo, woo.
Only when you're losing.
Yeah, that's true. I was not happy the other day.
Yeah.
When he beat me.
You beat him in golf?
I did.
No,
All right,
not-
that's
not
all the
really.
time we have for that.
his team beat me.
So quarterfinals.
Yeah, quarterfinals just ended, but not for everyone because we have age group coming up
Yes.
in a few days. And so we wanted to talk about, kind of do a little review of the individual quarterfinals, and maybe we'll do another video talking about age group as well.
Yeah, and we'll basically take what we learned from quarterfinals and say, how does this apply? Like, what can you learn from it moving into age groups?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest advantage for age groups. They get to see the workouts first, and likely they will be different, but still you kind of get a feel for like, what are the biases of these workouts? You know, what are the scores going to look like?
Yeah.
You know, is it going to be a lot of rowing, a little bit of rowing, clean and jerks versus a snatch, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And usually they're pretty similar, at least in format.
Little taste of Roni.
Yeah. Do you think that the workouts will be very, very similar?
Last year they were different.
Yeah.
The year before they were very similar.
Yeah.
So I would guess that they will be different this year because
Okay.
Bosman wants to make things a little bit different. But the biases probably will stay the same in that there's like bottlenecks in specific workouts. Everyone that did those workouts, they know you get to the handstand push-ups on workout 1, and then it was just like a
That's
grind.
it. That's the workout.
And the same thing for workout 5 with the rope climbs. Most
Yeah.
people that we saw on site flew through the first part, but then the rope climbs looked much more challenging than normal.
All right, so now we're starting with workout evaluation from quarterfinals. Officially, we've got in there.
Yeah. But I want to hear first, just before we start the evaluation.
Yeah.
Okay, Max, favorite workout from quarterfinals and least favorite workout from quarterfinals?
Favorite in terms of like, I would like to do it or
Oh,
what
not this
happened.
again.
Yeah, it's too many.
Yeah.
You got to be clear with your
I'm
questions.
so sorry.
man.
I'll make it as clear as possible
All
for
right,
Max.
favorite workout, because I'm a meathead, would be workout number 3, the
Yeah.
clean and jerk workout. Least favorite workout would be the cross under workout.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like cross unders being in there. I just like it. It wasn't really that cool to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. That was probably my least favorite one to watch, but it also was impressive to see people that didn't have good crossovers figure it out quickly
Yeah.
on site. You know, everyone here has been practicing them. We put them in since the games last year, and we've done tip videos and compete and gave that to all our individual clients, and so they've been practicing them, but it's still a skill that under fatigue is very challenging, and I thought everyone kind of overcame that. One of the things we noticed, though, on the leaderboard, many good athletes really struggled with that workout. And it probably all came down to the cross under singles.
I mean, there's definitely people from semifinals last year that literally are just not going to be there because of that one thing. So that's another indicator that we've seen. So we go through these workouts and we say, workout number 1 for almost everybody was bottleneck by like, how long did that last handstand push-up set take you? Yeah. Workout number 2 was, can you do cross unders? The few people that got heavy on the dumbbell, but for most people, the cross unders dictated the whole thing. 3 was basically a clean and jerk workout. There didn't really need to be any burpee box jump over. So how well can you lift heavy under fatigue?
Yeah, and even if you are really good at clean and jerks and you could sprint the burpee box jump overs, you probably got a better score by going slow on the burpees and just speeding up your clean and jerks.
Exactly. 4, I don't know if it had a specific bottleneck, definitely like core endurance, but I don't know if more people, I think, got bottleneck from what I saw by the second set of V-ups than the second set of GHDs,
yes.
Which surprised me like so much.
We had people doing singles.
Yeah, I know. And they were still struggling to get to their toes. And I was like, wow, that's one of the downfalls of stopping doing hard CrossFit or being so much less fit that like, I can't experience that. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I'd be able to do unbroken there, but I'm never at like that full failure point where we've already done 100 GHDs and 25 V-ups and all that rowing.
And rowing at, like there were some males rowing at a 145 to 147 pace, which over the course of 3,000 meters is quite a bit.
Yeah, it's fast. So that one maybe wasn't like a straight bottleneck, but the last workout was a straight bottleneck in rope climbs.
Yeah.
So that I think is just a big indicator of Bosman's programming style. And maybe this is like, whenever you make an observation, especially because we put all this stuff publicly, it's not like they don't hear things through the grapevine or somebody says something and it gets to somebody else. But generally, they can react to that. I remember Castro used to do that a lot of times. There'd be people out there making predictions or what was in this or what was in this or they'll never repeat this again. And then he would do it. So maybe we start to say, oh, he does only bottlenecks. And then they start to make them like triplets where it's small movement sets every time. But the pattern right now is pretty obvious that there's going to be single movements that dictate a lot of specific workouts.
Yeah. I guess my question to you is, was that intentional or did they assume, let's take workout 1 as an example. Did they think it was a front squat endurance test with just there happened to be hard handstand push-ups at the end? Or when Bosman wrote that or whoever helped him, they were like, oh yeah, this will be pretty easy for the front half of the workout. They'll be able to do 9 unbroken front squats. Most people will break 15. They'll probably break 21s, but it'll be a short break. And then it's all going to come down to 4.5 minutes on the wall with handstand push-ups.
Man, I don't know. I think it really depends on, we had a really cool setup in that we had some of the United members going who are...
That's Travis's gym.
Yeah, Travis's gym.
So we split the building with Travis's gym.
Yeah. So TTT is basically like inside of this space. It would be like people that are seriously trying to compete for the most part, and then people that want to take classes and are still into CrossFit would take classes at United, and we just kind of co-share the space. So Travis had a couple members qualified that were just like really good recreational competitors. Like they're in the top 10%, but they're not trying to be semifinals games athletes. And then we had, I don't know how many people, but a lot of people qualify for semis and do very well on the global leaderboard. So it's interesting to watch them go through the different tests. And I don't think the tests are bottlenecked in that same way for elites. So if they're testing them on the lower level and then trying to just give it to the upper level, I think that's going to be one of the consequences that you see from the programming. If they're testing it on the upper level and they didn't see that, I don't know what they're looking for, because I feel like everybody I saw do the workout was bottlenecked that way at the highest level.
Yeah, I think that was I guess that's what I'm asking is if they were thinking about getting the best into semifinals, did they think it was going to be a strength test for number 1? Like, 225 and 155 is going to be heavy for athletes? Or did they think, because the reality is every semifinal athlete just kind of flew through the barbells.
Yeah.
The muscle ups weren't really that much of an issue.
Or they took a break because they repeated it in the second time. They took more breaks just to save themselves time on the
right, but it wasn't a break because this front squat's heavy. It
Yeah.
was a break because I need to make sure that I'm ready for handstand push-ups.
Yeah.
But again, if that workout took, let's just say, a good male 9 minutes and 30 seconds, that's kind of like the median score, right? But 4 minutes of that was on the wall. half of the workout was 21 reps.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely, it seems outrageous to me. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think they need to be better at handstand push-ups,
Yeah.
and everyone will work on them. But it just seems crazy. And that was the same thing with the rope climbs, where a lot of people finish that workout in 5.5 minutes on the male side.
Yeah.
3 or 2.5 of those minutes, so again, 50% of the workout was on the rope.
Yeah.
And it's just very interesting that that's the dynamic, as opposed to your point earlier where 9-minute AMRAP of 7 burpees, 7 thrusters at 75 pounds, and 7 chest bar pull-ups, where it's just how fast can you move the entire time.
Yeah.
That's what we've seen in the past.
Yeah. It's just interesting. It's a different style of training that's going to optimize you to prepare for that. And I think you'd be silly not to start changing the way that you're training and like even looking at just how important dense sets of gymnastics are, or higher level skills in gymnastics. And I kind of think, I know cross unders is not a gymnastics thing, but I kind of think of it as
it is.
Ability to be coordinated with your body and do a bunch of different things and change standards. So I think that's something that I've heard Bosman talk about, that he doesn't think that having the same standard every single year on a movement, the way that it's written, and having people practice it and get their skill dialed in is in line with the spirit of what CrossFit is supposed to be in terms of unknown and unknowable. So it could be that every single test that we get from now until the games and then the next games and then the next games, instead of us thinking of like, hey, this handstand push-up line is the standard to practice, it could be different. So it really makes you have to be creative about how much different skill work you do. And we're working on that in the semifinal path and training with Adam. We're like, okay, in our gymnastics sessions, instead of us just accumulating reps, we need to be like accumulating reps with different standards and doing more like play and coordinated work to make sure people are prepared.
Teaser alert, we're going to be putting out some of these on-site training videos once per week coming soon.
Fun.
So you'll get to see what we're doing up here.
I know.
Hope you enjoyed this clip from episode 124 of the Corpus Animus Podcast. To hear the full episode where we discuss bottlenecks making up the majority of recent CrossFit testing, judging, and standard problems, if quarterfinals did a good job sorting the best athletes into semifinals, and tips for masters athletes doing the upcoming age group quarterfinals, check out the audio version on all major podcast providers or peep the other clips here on YouTube.